The clip I'm about to share with you about heavy weights versus light weights in strength training is actually a clip from a larger online course of mine that's called The Science of Strength 2.0. So I just want to let you know that and put this in a little bit more context because you'll be dropping into just a single point in the course. But leading up to that point, previous to that point, I had given a whole presentation about how exercise science research really tells us that we can build muscle growth and strength adaptations in our body using a wide range of weights, from lighter weights all the way up to heavier weights. And just the kind of basic summary, and there are more details involved than just this, and I talk about them all in the full course, but the basic summary is as long as you take your sets to or close to momentary muscular failure. So even if you're lifting lighter weights, as long as you take that set to or close to muscle failure, then you can stimulate muscle growth and strength adaptation. So that's what I talked to leading up to this point. And then just FYI, if you're interested, this is a full 4-hour course on the science of strength, and it's brand new, and it's based on super current evidence. It's an updated version of an older course that I used to offer called The Science of Strength, but there's new information out now, and I wanted to offer an update. And this course is anyone could take it, but it's geared toward the yoga population. It's kind of yoga for yogis specifically. And it counts as continuing education hours with the Yoga Alliance. So you could take the course actually for free with the 7-day trial on my website. So just see the link in the caption in order to take that course if you're interested. Now let's look at the clip. So let's address this age-old question, which you may have wondered about before. Do I need to lift heavy weights? And I think this is a really good question to take a look at because I think some people are kind of like held back from the idea of strength training because they have this belief about it that strength training means that you have to lift really heavy weights, and maybe they have some fear around that or just like no desire to lift super heavy weights. And so because of that, they're just like, well, then I'm not strength training because that's all that strength training is, right? So I just want to make clear that, and hopefully this is a little clear based on everything we've talked about so far in this course, but you don't need to lift heavy weights. You can get so many positive benefits and great strength adaptations in your body from light weights and from moderate weights. We definitely don't need to lift heavy weights, especially if we don't want to. So just want to make that clear. But on the flip side, I also want to make clear that using 2 to 5 pound dumbbells, and that would be considered like very light weights, using 2 to 5 pound dumbbells those are not enough. So you don't have to lift heavy weights, but it's not enough for true full body, well-rounded strength training and all the strength adaptations and all the benefits that come with that. 2 to 5 pound very light weights are also not enough. It's just, we can't get our body into like all the right positions in which 2 to 5 pounds would be enough for strength benefits. There are some, like for example, say you're holding your 2 to 5 pound dumbbells and you take your arms out wide, and then I don't know, maybe you do like these like lateral raises out to the side, something like that. Like maybe because it's such a long lever and you're holding a lightweight, maybe that's lightweight is enough to actually make you work hard enough. But that's just like one kind of specific example. Like maybe light weights do work in some very kind of limb extended, long lever situations with strength exercises. But in general, when you think about more of like your classic, like your squat, your deadlift, like things like that, more compound exercises that utilize so many joints all at once. If you are deadlifting like a 5 pound dumbbell, that's just 5 pounds is so light. Like you're never going to be able to do enough reps to actually create strength adaptations from that. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. In some specific exercises, light weights, may be enough to stimulate some strength adaptations. But with the majority of our strength exercises, for them to be effective, we do need heavier weights than that. So just want to make that clear. In our Strength for Yoga remote group training program, this is what Travis and I recommend for our members. We recommend, so we like to make it easy for people to join, like accessible. We don't want to have this like barrier of equipment needs to kind of hold people back. So we like to keep it simple and just say, we just want you to have one lighter weight and one heavier weight. Now, obviously, the more weights you have access to, the better. Like if you have a whole bunch of weights, or if you're doing your strength practice at the gym where you have everything, that's obviously optimal, because then you can really tailor a specific weight to your specific body in any specific exercise. But just to have a strength practice and you're not at the gym, you don't have very much, we don't want to hold people back from that. You can do a lot with just one lighter weight and one heavier weight. So that's what we recommend. And as far as the size of those weights, what we recommend is for women that size of the weight be between 10 and 20 pounds. And of course, it's going to depend on the person, the individual, and their strength levels and their strength experience. But 10 to 20 pounds is a good range for women for the lighter weight, and for men, 20 to 30 pounds. And then for the heavier weight, for women, 30 to 50 pounds, and for men, 50 to 70 pounds. So this is what we recommend as far as weights go. So hopefully this gives kind of an idea of clearly you don't need to lift heavy weights to receive so much positive benefit from your strength practice. It doesn't need to be heavy, but also super light 2 to 5 dumbbells are just not, they're not going to be enough if you really want optimal outcomes from your strength practice. And then just to throw in there that Travis and I recommend one lighter weight and one heavier weight. And we also recommend a resistance band. We have some exercises that utilize a band. And we also have some exercises in our program that are just body weight. They don't use any equipment at all. But so we just like for our members to have a heavier and a lighter weight and then a resistance band. And we just feel like that's like pretty simple. You know, most of us, especially if we're yoga practitioners, we generally have a yoga mat, maybe a couple blocks, maybe a blanket. Like we have a few things for our yoga practice. So Travis and I don't think it's super unreasonable to ask our remote group training members to also have just a few pieces of equipment for their strength practice. And you can get a lot done with just that. But of course, if you have access to more, then that's even better. So that would be my answer to the age-old question of, do I need to lift heavy weights? And I hope that you found this helpful and also just encouraging, because I hope it makes it seem like starting a strength practice, if you haven't started one yet, is much more accessible than you may have realized. Or maybe you have students or people you know who are interested in starting strength training. We can be assured that we can be clear with them that they don't need to lift heavy weights, and it doesn't need to be scary that way if heavy weights are scary for someone. It's a lot more accessible of a practice than that.